Hey everyone, Lance here. Now this is a video I've wanted to do for a little while, but I haven't really got around to doing it, and that's sort of a little bit of room reorganization. I'm basically wanting to move my desk across that way so I can get the use of that back corner there, as it's currently underneath those shelves. I've also got a few things to tidy up all the cabling that are under the desk on the floor. There's a chest of drawers on that side, and that'll be swapped over to behind me just there. I've got a few things in front of me here that I'll be using. Now I've got a couple of power strips because I'm always running out of power points. So these both have 6 each, so that's another 12 power points. So I'm really hoping that's enough. I've got this shelf here, or this little shelf kit here, which is 600 millimeters, 60 centimeters long, and these are low profile, what are they even called?
In brackets.
So some low profile brackets, so I'll be able to have this nice and low. My desk has a board at the back, so no one can like look up your address or whatever in an office. So I'll be bolting this behind there, and I'm going to sit all my external hard drives and stuff on there so they're nice and hidden. I've also got some LED strips here, and with these LED strips I'll have them along the back of the desk and along that board underneath, so when the computer's on, behind on the wall will be lit up nicely. These are Wi-Fi controlled with an app. These were just from AliExpress, so basically cost next to nothing. And then in here I've got these little things from Ikea. They're called the Ikea Signum. And basically these are some cable management racks. So if I open one of these up, we can see it's a lot of packaging. Okay, so there's that little wire rack. So I've got 2 of these, and they have stuck in my chair. They have these little rods that, oh man, they have these little rods that screw to the desk, and then these little things that screw in and hold the rack. So hopefully this is in the shot, but that will go there, and you can, yeah, you get the idea. You can screw that on. I'm losing screws everywhere. But basically those are all the bits that I will be using, and then rearranging the desk, my chest of drawers and everything like that. We've moved everything off the desk, and we've also moved those drawers. Now you probably would have seen before that the carpet is pretty dusty. All those cables on the ground do make it really hard to vacuum, obviously. And you may have also seen a red stain on the floor. That's from when the water cooling in my PC leaked. I'm not really too worried about that. We did have some recent flooding, so some of the carpet is rotting around the edges, so the carpet may be getting pulled up in the near future anyway. But now we're going to pull the desk out, we're going to bolt those Ikea cable management racks on, and also that shelf, so we'll get onto that now. We've moved the desk away from the wall, so now I've got out the vacuum cleaner here, and I'm going to get to vacuuming everything. All the cables have been picked up off the floor, so once this is all vacuumed up, we'll get into putting everything on the back of the desk. We're literally doing a video on vacuuming your room. This is how you vacuum your room. You go like backwards and forwards. Maybe like that. Like that. Oh. So I've got some white vinegar here. I've been told that white vinegar helps with mold, so I'm going to put some on this moldy carpet down here from the flooding. Oh yes. There may have been a bit much, but yeah, I'll dry that off and then we'll get to the fun stuff. So here's the shelf. Now these brackets don't actually screw on, but there's these tiny little threaded things that you just put slight pressure on the wood of the shelf and that holds the ends on nicely. Just like so, and then we've got the next one. Oh dear. Yep, there we go. And we'll put that one in. Okay, good. Now I've got some old screws here to fasten it to the desk. These are from Fortress Fasteners. They've just been laying around in the basement for ages, but they're not quite the length of the desk, so it's not going to puncture the top and have tiny little spikes all over the desk, so that's good. Or forward from there, sorry. And I've got out the drill here, so I'll be able to drill those holes. Now we don't have a level, so we're just going to use the iOS Compass app, which has a nice sort of level feature in there. So let's get onto that. Should probably get something to mark the holes, I reckon.
That's probably a good idea.
How high do you reckon we should have this? I reckon probably about there. So we're there, we're level. Bam. Bam. Make sure it's still level. We are. Mark the bottom holes. Cool. Now let's get to drilling. Don't want to go too far, we just need enough to get the screws started. One more. Cool. We're going to need a vacuum again.
Should have done that.
There's
Should have done this first.
We did.
Is that level?
Yeah, I think it's level. Please, Apple, please be level.
Ah, wait, you've done it upside down.
What do you mean?
These should be on the bottom.
Yeah, I know, but because of the way these thread in, it's kind of gone like
I get you.
that. No matter. No one's going to see it. It's behind the desk. It's also worked out basically the perfect depth for the desk. Oh no. Not quite level anymore, but that doesn't matter. It's only 1 degree off. I don't care. No one's going to see it. No one's going to even know it's there. Okay, but that's on. Nice and sturdy. So now my hard drives can sit along here and be nice and hidden. And I'll do one of these on each side. So one there and one will be on that side. So I don't think these will be too tricky. Ikea have nicely included their own mounting hardware. Just 4 screws, which also aren't too deep, so they'll poke through the top of the desk, so I'm happy about that. And this has actually been a lot easier than I first thought, and I'm extremely excited to be able to have all those cables hidden away. I'll post a link to Ikea's website where you can see these as well. Okay, there we go. I'm going to try and get them reasonably centered with my ichrometer. Okay, there we go. And they will go like so. So again, I need to mark some holes. Okay, so I need to mark these holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then I can drill for those. Just the same as before, we only want enough to start the screws. Oh dear. Gonna have to put them on a different one. Hasn't lined up the same for some reason, but that doesn't matter. If it doesn't fit, force it. You'll know.
Ah, so it's going to be.
I bent it. No one needs to know. I'm gonna have to bend this a little bit. Perfect. That is very nice.
Oh, yeah.
So we've run into a small problem, nothing really to worry about, but because of the shelf, I'm not going to be able to get the drill in to drill the hole for this. Now I would take the shelf off, but I'm lazy, so I'm not going to do that. So I've just decided to have this more in from the edge. It's probably better to have it on the edge to take the load a bit better, but it's going to be fine there either way. It's only going to be cables on there. So I've just got to mark the holes and drill the holes for this one, and then we're just about done. Just put the LEDs on, put everything where it needs to go, and see how it all looks. So I'm going to stick the LEDs down now. I'm thinking that we'll probably run them along here and then probably bend it down and run a strip along the bottom here. I'm going to try and get them to run off one 9-volt adapter or 12 volt adapter, so I don't have to worry about having two power points for the LEDs. They don't use much power anyway. So I'm going to stick this down starting about here, and then hopefully this will loop around and hide under the desk.
Time for some B-roll. Look at this B-roll. Oh, yeah. B-roll for days.
Oh no.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh no.
You walk into my B-roll.
Oh no.
You son of a bitch.
Son of a beetle.
You son of a bitch.
The LEDs are on, and I've still got another 4 coils. So that was one LED strip, so I'm really happy about that. And I've also now noticed that all of these power boards have tiny little hooks here. So I'm thinking of possibly also mounting these on the back of the desk like so. And then this will just be for cables and power bricks and things like that. To get the spacing for the holes for these power strips to mount, I will need to measure the distance between these two holes to drill them in the desk. So I've got a tape measure here, so I'm just going to measure those, and then I'll measure the same distance on the wall, make sure it's level, and then drill some small pilot holes. It's like 23, 200, this is munted, 223 mils. I'm going to mark the first hole, then I'm going to drill that, and then I'm going to put this onto the first hole, and then I'll be able to mark the second one while it's all level. So let's drill here. Again, not too deep because they're just pilot holes. Now we want to screw the screw in, but not all the way because we need to use it like a hook So now that the first screw is in, this is sitting there. I had to get some slightly smaller screws. So now I want to measure the distance from this screw to where I've said the next one would be, which is 223 millimeters, and try and keep it reasonably level. Okay, and then I'm going to drill the next hole, and I haven't been super accurate, so I'm hoping that that is right. Room. There we go. Perfect.
Hello.
I've started putting some of the cables here, so you can see some of the power cables are up here, and the external hard drive will sit there. I've got a couple of others to put there and a couple of other things. I've also done the other side of the desk, so I'm going to move the desk into place, and then I'm going to have to get underneath and get everything sort of fitting how it should. But it should look very nice, and I think the hardest part of all of this will be lifting the chest of drawers over there over top of the desk to get it all in place. So it's just about all together. As you can see on the floor down there, there's basically no wires to be seen, or there is no wires to be seen. Now all I've got to do is mount the router. I'm wanting to do something like this, but I'm not wanting to really drill any holes. So I've got some Velcro here that I'm going to stick on here. This does have raised feet along the bottom, so I'm hoping little patches of Velcro are going to be enough. It's not very heavy, but worst comes to worst, I will drill holes here. You can see here I've got 2 Velcro strips and some Velcro on the feet on the bottom of the router, so that will just stick on nicely like so. It holds on pretty tight. So that's exactly what I need. So we'll stick that on, and then we'll plug all the Ethernet cables in and power for this obviously, and we're basically good to go. Chuck the drawers back here and everything's done. So you can see it's basically all done. The router is mounted there, the cables loop round behind the desk nicely, those cable management railings are there, and that shelf is on. So all the cables are hidden, the computer's up and running, and everything to do with the desk is done. We didn't really run into any problems other than the fact that where we had to bend the LEDs around the corner kind of broke the strip because they are rigid. So we just got a second strip and ran that along with a second receiver for the changing the colors and turning it off and on and things. And that made things a lot easier, worked out a lot tidier behind there as well. So now I've just got to move the drawers back into place and we're basically done. There we have it. It's done. Everything is all together. I managed to do it in one day, which I'm really happy about, and I'm really pleased with how it all looks. There's absolutely no cables on the floor, which is extremely satisfying to look at. And I can change the color behind the desk. Right now I've got a blue color, and over here we've got a nice tidy set of drawers. If you're wondering what this is, it's a Xiaomi air purifier. And the LEDs, they also had this little remote. However, it didn't come with any batteries, but they are Wi-Fi. So I can use a little app here. This little app where I've grouped the 2 sets of LEDs, and I can change the color to basically anything I like. Could put a razor green there. But that's about all I wanted to talk about today, guys. I do thank you all a lot for watching. Feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and check out my Twitter and Instagram down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.
Jesus.
I'm filming this screwdriver, you know. It's like something out of a Breaking Bad.